Hey guys, before I talk about the controversy that happened today, let's rewind a bit back to the 10th anniversary of Five Nights at Freddy's when we got our first teaser for Secret of the Mimic. I mean, everyone was so hyped. A FNaF game set in the earliest point in the timeline? I mean, what was there not to be excited about? A couple weeks later from that, we got the PAX event where people got to try a demo of Secret of the Mimic where it was revealed that the game was going to be in VR. Which is pretty exciting considering that Steel's VR games are some of the best games in the series. But then fast forward to February of 2025 and we got our first trailer for Secret of the Mimic and they changed the direction of the game and it's no longer in VR. Which was a little weird, but I mean it didn't really matter, the game still looked great. And then it released in June and it was overall pretty well received by the community. Sure, not everyone loved it, but everyone could agree it was a step in the right direction compared to the launch of Security Breach. So the success of the game carried for a couple weeks. We got some new merch, YouTubers were making their theories on the game, business as usual. But then, the hype starts to die down a bit, but at the time we had the FNaF 2 movie to look forward to. It came and it went. It wasn't the greatest thing ever, but it was still pretty cool and there was a lot to talk about. A couple weeks go by, the hype dies down again, but then a couple weeks after that, Leon Riskin gives us a bunch of teasers for a brand new game, and then gives us a small little teaser for it, playing music that's similar to Princess Quest. Everyone was hyped, we're finally getting some new news about a new game, and it actually never was about FNaF. Cool. At this point, FNaF fans are starting to feel the drought a bit, and I mean, there's some fan game stuff going on in the background, but nothing crazy. And then, on February 11th, Steel announces that Secret of Mimic VR is coming in spring 2026. Everyone rejoice, we are getting a mainline entry that is actually being worked on. And since, it's just a VR version of the game that's already out, it shouldn't take very long, right? I mean, it was intended to be VR from the beginning. 2 months later, in April 26, Steel says that the game is coming out very, very, very soon. So that must mean a couple days, right? We shouldn't have to wait any longer. It's gonna come out in 2 weeks. Which, okay, it's a little bit more of a wait, but we've already waited so long just for any new game. We can wait even more just to get a brand new FNaF content. Which brings us to today. I took the day off work and just like everyone else was super excited and ready to play Secret of the Mimic VR. Oh look, Steel put a blog post about the game. Maybe it's about how to get the version on Steam or... As a FNaF fan, I hate to say this, but FNaF is not in a good state right now, and I feel like for most people, what happened today is going to be a tipping point for them. Everyone has been waiting for Secret of the Mimic VR to release, and Steel releases it exclusively on PSVR on launch. This decision is absolutely mind-boggling to me, especially since in the blog post, Steel said they're working on getting it to PC very soon, but the problem with this is that this creates a lose-lose scenario for Steel. In scenario A, they do release Secret of the Mimic VR on PC in a couple days or a week, but then the question is, why not just release it at the same time instead of releasing it PSVR early and then on PC? And then in the other case, when they said very, very, very soon, that was 2 weeks away from when they said that. So if they're only saying that it's going to come out very soon, that could mean months before we get PC Secret of the Mimic VR. So no matter what ends up happening with this, it's a pretty messed up situation. And everyone is agreeing on it. If you have FNaF and Johnny Block saying that you're doing something wrong, who are two of the nicest people in the community, you're doing something wrong. Speaking of Steel, can we talk about how bad their marketing has been recently? It's so weird that the one game they flopped on, being Security Breach, got some of the best marketing in the franchise. I mean, they got a whole custom cartoon made and everything. But between both versions of Secret of the Mimic, there was like nothing to hype up the release other than the fact that it was a new FNaF game that's coming out, you know? I don't know, it's just kind of hard to explain because we obviously did get at least one trailer for every Steelable game that's come out. But it just feels like, you know, we'll get the new trailer that comes out in a PlayStation State of Play stream, and then we just get like little crumbs until the actual game comes out. Which has worked for previous games, but like a trailer of a talking coffee pot, that's not going to get me excited about your game, unfortunately. I mean, if you just look at Steelable's YouTube channel, you could scroll for 2 seconds and I'll be already back at the original Help Wanted trailers. And none of the trailers for any FNaF game have been more than 2 minutes. They're all short teasers that give you like nothing to go off of. But I suppose in the end, that's better than getting too much information like we got with the FNaF 2 movie. The problem with movies nowadays is the trailers show way too much, and considering how short the FNaF 2 movie is, the fact that we got so many trailers and TV spots, a lot of what the movie had to offer was already shown before most people saw the movie. But I digress. Speaking of the movie, actually, we can also talk about how the two main releases of FNaF recently have been so torn on whether people liked it or not. Like when you had the FNaF movie that just came out, people were either clowning on it or you had people who liked it a lot. Now, when I first saw it, I didn't really like it, but over time I've come to appreciate it more. And then when Secret of the Mimic came out, you had people calling it a trash Poppy Playtime clone, or you thought it was one of the best games in the series. I leaned towards the latter, and seeing as I love Secret of the Mimic, I was super excited to play it in VR, but, you know, I don't have $400 to drop on a brand new headset, so I don't get to play it. Shout out to the 5 people that have PSVR though. Speaking of money, let's talk about another big issue with FNaF in general. The main producer of merch, Jazwares. Now, I don't want to yap too much about this specifically just because, I mean, at this point everyone's talked about and everyone knows, you know, the problems with Jazwares and how they're handling FNaF merch. So I'm just going to talk about my personal experiences with it. While I think it's been getting a little bit better, the fact that it's this hard to find FNaF merch is, you know, it's kind of ridiculous. Your 3 choices when it comes to Jazwares merch are to either get lucky and somehow find it in store, stay up to date with all merch news and buy it the second it becomes available, or buy it super overpriced from scalpers. As someone who has most of the Jazwares merch, I can tell you right now, I had to do all 3 of these to get them, and it was not fun at all. And even by doing all 3 of them, I don't have everything from the Jazwares line. When the Hot Topic Lefty plush came out, you know, the mascot of my channel and one of my favorite characters, it dropped on Hot Topic's website while I was in class and sold out in 5 minutes. Like, yeah, I guess I was supposed to skip class to buy it. I'm not doing that. And I feel like as their merch is getting better, the ability to get them is only going to get worse. But anyway, the last thing I wanted to talk about, and this is just goes for FNaF in general, there's just been a lack of content and communication in this franchise. I mean, let's take a look at this post from FNaF Alerts about every project that's currently in the works for FNaF. Do you notice something? Well, for one, most of it is fanverse stuff, and even if it isn't, there isn't a single confirmed mainline game in the works on here. There might be one in the works, but we have no idea because no one's actually telling us. Instead, we get vague references that there could be something in the works, even though Secret of the Mimic is almost a year old now and we've gotten nothing so far. This kind of ties back into the marketing thing I was talking about. If we do get some teaser or something, that's going to be the only thing we get about the new game until a trailer comes out like 2 weeks before it releases. And then you have the opposite problem with the fanverse stuff. You know, I mentioned earlier I go to college and it's because I'm actually studying game design and I want to like make my own fan games one day. So I am learning firsthand how long it takes to actually make a video game and like the amount of effort, the amount of people you need to make something like that. But the fanverse got announced almost 6 years ago. If you have a full team of devs and funding from Scott, it should not be taking this long to make these games. I mean, all we've gotten out of the fanverse so far was Flunkies 3 and FNaF Plus getting cancelled. And you know, sure, we've gotten the spin-offs for Pop Goes, but like, when is Evergreen gonna release? I will say though, in their defense, between Joy of Creation and Pop Goes Evergreen, the footage we're seeing from them does actually look really good. And if they got to where it is because of how much time they're taking, then that's fine. But in my mind, when the fanverse first got announced, I'm thinking, oh, the benefit of having this fanverse is to fill in those dry periods where actual FNaF is taking a break and, you know, developing their games where you can play the fan games. But the fan games are taking longer to make than the actual mainline games. Now, I know all I've been doing in this video is complain, right? So here's what I would do to fix most, if not all, of these problems. Simply just fix the communication. It is in such a bad state right now. If you were a new fan coming into the series, you wouldn't know what's like coming or what's happening right now. I mean, it's not even funny. Like the fact that a fake ARG spawned from the composer, like that even happening, just shows a lack of communication. And our only idea that there's even a new game in the works is a vague YouTube chat from Scott. That's not okay. That's not how you run a franchise. Why do you think people were so upset when Aaron from Jazwares was announcing that he was leaving? Because he was actually talking to us directly and keeping us updated on Twitter. It was amazing. I don't think we've ever had that level of communication in the entirety of the series. I feel like all Scott has to do is keep up, not even like that much communication, just like slightly under would be enough to just put on that Twitter account he made for the Twitter account he uses for the 10th anniversary. If he just kept us posted on there, most if not all these problems would be fixed. Will he actually do that? We'll just have to wait and see. Well, legit halfway into editing this video, Steelwell posted this. But this kind of ties back into what I said earlier in the video, where this is now scenario A, where yes, it's good that the PC port is coming out in a day or two, but then what's the point in releasing... Well, one, what's the point in releasing the PSVR build today if the PC one's going to come out in 2 days? Why not just wait till then? And two, if you're not going to wait till then for some reason, why not just say that? They literally say it right here. We'll make sure to be more clear moving forward. Well, but like, in why say very soon? What is with the very soon? This is the second time in a row they've used the words very soon, and I don't understand. Why not just say the date? If you know that you should be able to release the build in 1 to 2 days, just say that. Very soon can mean anything. While I appreciate that they actually saw the controversy and spoke out and said something, it's like, one, yeah, I mean, okay, so the game, the PlayStation build came out at 12 p.m. It is now 6:30 as of the time of reading this post. Why did it take them 6 hours to address this? No idea. But I suppose, in the end, after everything I've said so far, this is the kind of thing I want to see going forward. I want someone, just anyone, to address what is happening, state what is going to happen, and say that it's going to improve in the future. That's all I wanted. That's what Steelwell did. So, you know, I guess in the end this does have an happy ending. I would just like for this to continue going forward. I find it hard to believe it will, but this is a step in the right direction. But, you know, I'm sure after watching this video, you might be thinking, wow, this guy hates modern FNaF. But actually, I'm a modern FNaF glazer. It's just that, as of recently, it's just getting harder to defend it, you know? Anyway, I mean, that's just my thoughts on FNaF as a whole recently. If you liked the render for this thumbnail or the gameplay you're watching in this video, They were both done by my goat, FNaF Merch Plus. Go sub to him, he's almost at 20,000 subs. But for now, thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one.